Okay, so whenever you're looking at the muscles of the thigh, the muscle here is the sartorius and then the gracilis, and I just remember those because SG like Stargate, so sartorius, gracilis muscle. And then whenever you look on the lateral side, here, you have your biceps femoris, which is this huge muscle, and you'll probably need the really big scissors to cut through it, but partially underneath it is the tensor fascia antebrachi, which is here, and it was connected here. Sorry, not tensor fascia lata, not tensor fascia antebrachi, that was up there. So tensor fascia lata here, and again, tensor fascia just has a lot of fascia, so you can see all this fascia. And be careful when you're looking at it because it has two parts to it, a cranial and a more caudal part. So this would be the cranial part and caudal part, and you don't want to confuse it as another muscle later. And so then whenever, after you bisect the biceps femoris, here you have the sciatic nerve or ischiatic nerve here, and the nerve's white. And then here you have the adductor cruris caudalis, and the reason it's called that is because it adducts, but also it's called a cruris because there's right here some of the cruris fascia, so adductor cruris caudalis, and you want to make sure when you cut through the biceps femoris that you don't cut the adductor cruris caudalis. And then here is the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and the adductor femoris muscle. And whenever all the muscles are back together, the area that's right behind the knee here is the popliteal fossa. So you're always going to have two sides to the knee, the popliteal side and then the patellar side, which is where the patella is. And the muscle that forms the lateral wall of the popliteal fossa is the biceps femoris. The muscle that forms the medial wall is the semitendinosus. And some people may have a hard time remembering which one's the semitendinosus versus the semimembranosus. The semitendinosus is a thinner strap. The semimembranosus, if you look at it on this side too, is like a very big muscle. It's really thick. And so you can see it on both sides. So again here, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and adductor femoris muscle complex. This tiny muscle right here is the piriformis. So it kind of sounds, pectineus muscle. Make sure I get that right. Yeah, pectineus muscle here. And it's really small. The piriformis muscle is underneath the gluteus medius muscle. For the gluteal muscles, they're where the cat's butt is. Let me just put this stuff back together. This one would connect here. So here, basically, again, you have tensor fascia lata, your biceps femoris. This is your caudo femoris muscle, and its other part is under here. It's harder to bring them back together, but so caudo femoris, and it originates on your caudal vertebrae, inserts on the femur, so it's caudo femoris, and it is near the head of the biceps femoris. And then when you go more cranial, you have the superficial gluteal muscle, or the gluteus superficialis muscle here, and you can also call it gluteus maximus. And the reason it's called superficialis is because if you lift it up or cut through it, you can see the rest of the gluteus medius. And in the cat, the gluteus medius is really big. In humans, the gluteus maximus is really big because we have to sit on it and use it for a different motion. So gluteus superficialis or gluteus medius, and then, or gluteus maximus, and then gluteus medius is here. And then when you look underneath the gluteus medius, you have the piriformis, which the piriformis, this part is still stuck to the gluteus medius. But here you can see the tendon of the gluteus medius, and then underneath that is the piriformis here. And it's not on your word list, but it is important, and it will be added. Here is the gluteus profundus muscles, and it just has the two little parts of it here underneath, and they're really distinguishable from the other ones. And then when you look deeper here, you'll see again the sciatic nerve or ischiatic nerve. And if you think about it, way deep in here where the ischiatic nerve comes out is like the lumbar vertebrae that it comes out. So that's why people have a lot of problems with the sciatic nerve, because it comes out of a small spot. And the sciatic nerve just comes along here and comes out here and goes down the rest of the leg. And then for the quadriceps, or the quads, if you look on this part of the leg, and so if you reflect the tensor fasciae lata and the sartorius muscle, you'll see the quad muscles here. If you think about the names like lateralis, medialis, and intermedius, it makes it easier to think about them. So the vastus lateralis is going to be the one that's on the lateral side. Vastus medialis, the one that's on the medial side. And then the vastus intermedius is underneath the rectus femoris here, and it's the one that's in between the vastus lateralis and the vastus medialis. So you could see it way deep in there. And all of the ones that start with the word vastus are going to originate on the femur, so they're shorter than the rectus femoris. The rectus femoris originates deep in there on the ilium, and so its origin insertion is important. And the rectus femoris is the longest one, and it is here. Make sure you don't confuse it with the vastus intermedialis, which is in here. The rectus femoris is here. And all of them insert on the patella, and the tendons that are associated with the patella are the patellar tendons. And that is it for all of the muscles of the leg.